There's more of a difference between running and walking or running and marching than merely the pace at which one moves. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2 of the Torah portion, Ve'era, and I appeared. When we left off yesterday, we were talking about a frustrated, deflated, reluctant, is a key word, Moshe, complaining to Yah in prayer that nothing is working right. And Yah's answer is, I am who I will be. I am Yahweh, and you're going to have to trust me. Many years ago, some 20 years ago, when Laura and I first came into a Hebraic focus of study, we began to associate with people of like mind in a very large, spread out territorial area, multiple states. And we were learning, we were gaining, we were trying to understand. Let's go back 20 years in the American history of things and imagine what things were like back then. We had just passed Y2K, where the whole world was wondering, with this great reset and the potential computer failure of everything, that the world would lock down and we would be back in the Stone Age of things. Well, that fear, thankfully, did not pan out. But there was a lot of governmental mistrust. There were a lot of conspiracy theories floating around. There were a lot of deceptions that were being offered. And we were taught, mistrust everything. Trust nothing. Matter of fact, some of the advice and the encouragement that we received 20 years ago was that you needed to have a mountain hideout, a bunker somewhere, a cave somewhere, because when everything hit the fan, you needed a place where you could run and hide and bunker down until the fallout of all that would take place was over. Then you could emerge safe, secure, and face whatever consequences were the result of man's upheaval against himself. It was well-intentioned advice. I'll never forget one of the words of advice that I was given as we started House of David was, quote unquote, stay under the radar. Don't expose yourself. Don't put a sign on your building. Don't put an ad in the paper. Don't let anybody know who you are. Secretly move and meet and do your thing, and the right people will show up. Well, again, well-intentioned advice, but that's not the best way. You see, we have to be involved in the world that is around us. Otherwise, there are no means by which Yah can diffuse his presence into the world and the environment to which we are assigned. You and I do not live where we live and move among who we move to hide ourselves or to hide him. We are a significant people. We are a very strategic people, not very well known, not very well understood, but those things, I believe, will begin to change at some point. The reality is we cannot bunker down. We cannot hide ourselves. We cannot be a recluse in the things of Yah and then march into the kingdom. Better advice is we are in the last days and the time of the greatest outpouring and anointing that the world will ever see. And we need to stand up as lights so that those who are hidden in gross darkness, according to Isaiah chapter 60, that they will be able to come to the brightness of our shining. How can you shine if you hide yourself? Yeshua even said, do not hide your light, but rather thrust it into the darkness so all may see and be benefited. Those things now said and understood. Yah lets Moshe in on his plan, and his plan continues in Shemot or Exodus chapter number 6. And he says in verse 5 and following, I have heard the groaning of the children of Israel whom the Mitzrites are enslaving, and I remembered my covenant, what he's about to do, how he's getting ready to act, even in our day. It's not because of who's elected and not elected, or what you think or how you feel or what doctrines are being preached and taught. It's his covenant. God does not move according to the whims or the designs of man. He moves according to his covenant. The way he relates to you is decreed and declared, detailed in his covenant. Continuing. Say therefore to the children of Israel, Ani Yahweh, I am Yahweh. Trust me in that. Believe me for that. And then he makes 4 great promises. Number 1, I shall bring you out from under the burdens of the Midianites. Your current estate is going to change. At some point, by some means, as I will reveal to you, whether you understand it or not, and whether you get the whole plan at once or not, you're going to have to trust me. I am Yahweh, and I am going to change this heavy burden estate that you're under. Then secondly, he said, I shall deliver you from their enslaving. The days of your servanthood to the world's systems, you're enslaving to things as they are demanded upon us, it's going to stop. Now, when will that take place? I can't give you that answer. But God says, your shackles are going to be released from you. Your chains are going to fall off. That which the world demands enslavement to is going to stop, not because of how you maneuver and vote and choose and do and go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to deliver you. Promise number 3. And he said, I shall redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. Now, there is the part that we assume we have knowledge of, but maybe you and I need to be better prepared for. Are we willing to endure the days of judgment in order for the systems of the world to break and fall apart? There is a certain societal structure and stability even when evil people are in charge. Even when things are not according to our preferences. But in order to deliver Yah's people, in order for the kingdom to come, the world systems must be brought to their knees. Whatever form of society that you have, even if you applaud your quote-unquote your freedom and your liberty, it is based on faulty systems. Man's systems at its best is grossly inferior to the kingdom of Yeshua. And in order for you and I to experience the greatest opportunity and the greatest experience of life itself, that which we know has to come under his scrutiny and his judgment. And there needs to be a willingness on our part to be called to endure and persevere in the midst of that. And then promise number 4. He says, I shall take you as my people, and I shall be your Elohim. Well, that's easy, right? I mean, we prayed this prayer. We invited Messiah to come and live in our lives. We have been redeemed. We're born again. So that's all fixed, right? No, not yet. This process for which Yah says, I will take you as my people. He's going to take us. That is, he is going to put his hands on us, grab a hold of us, put us in his grasp for himself. This is not about life improvement. This is not about a better home life and about better relationships and feeling good about yourself and having a better worldview. This is about Yah taking a hold of us, seizing us, grasping our lives and taking us for his own people. That is, that we become Am Israel, the people of Elohim. And he said, and I will be your Elohim. This is a much firmer, more resolved relationship than what we have yet known. Let's get ready for that. More tomorrow. Until then, shalom.